All right, we turn our focus now to the nation's job market. The nation has 7 million fewer jobs than it did when the recession began in December 2007. And Carl Camden is the president and CEO of Kelly Services, a global temporary staffing firm. He joins us now to give us a look at how his company, we were just talking about this during the commercial break. Carl, welcome, by the way.
Thank you, Lisa.
You're sort of the closest or the fastest indication of what's happening on the job fronts, because people, the first place they go usually is to a temporary staffing firm after losing a job.
Yeah. You know, 1/3 of the jobs created in this recovery have been, in 2010, were temporary staffing jobs. So we see in real time what's taking place, what industries are hiring and which ones aren't.
So the last couple monthly employment reports seem to indicate that there was some positive movement, nothing to write home about or cheer about, but nothing to get too depressed about. Is that consistent with what you were saying?
Yeah, there's a solid, modest increase in demand for labor. 250,000 a month on average for the last 6 months, slow acceleration. The problem is the hole that we dug ourselves in this last recession was so huge that in spite of that number, we still have, as you said, 7 million people looking for employment.
Now, let me ask you, when there is a downturn in the economy, you have a number of unemployed people like this, is that actually good for your business?
Unemployment is never good for our business. That happens, there's a wide array of talent now that we're able to put out on behalf of our customers. But you have 40% of the unemployed who have been unemployed for a very long period of time and who basically don't have the skills necessary in this economy. That's going to be a significant problem for our country.
Let's talk a little bit about where you are seeing some demand for growth. Right. What sectors?
Yeah, by sectors, manufacturing has been strong. 2010 was a strong year for manufacturing growth in this country. It looks like 2011 will be. It's being done with a lot less people. There's much more productivity in American manufacturing.
And manufacturing would be, you were saying you're based in Detroit, these are factory jobs.
Right.
Now, another thing that you'd mentioned when we were speaking about this before the segment is that there are a lot of people, there's a big mismatch between skilled laborers and the jobs that are open, right? A lot of unskilled labor, a lot of jobs that require skills. How do we close that, and does that mean, from your perspective, that it will take a longer period of time for employment to improve?
It'll take a very long period of time for the unemployment rate to get back to what we've come to view as normal, the 4.5%, 5.5% range. It may not even happen during this whole cycle. When you have nearly 3 million people who don't have the skills that are in demand, that is a permanent problem. When you don't have sufficient government programs for retraining and sufficient incentives for companies to engage in training activities, there's not a lot of hope for these individuals in the near term.
Now, close to 30% of your business is actually international. Do we import those laborers, or are those skilled laborers in the U.S., or do we export our people to places that don't need skilled laborers?
Right now there's actually more exporting of American talent moving abroad. We have, I believe, a very inadequate program to bring skilled labor into the program. We burn through our H-1B visa allotments in this country usually in January, which means companies can't bring in engineers. When we look to find engineering talent, there's only one person in many cases there's only one person for every 3 jobs. We could fill a lot more engineering jobs if we could bring the talent inside the country.
All right, Carl, we're going to have to leave it there. Pleasure to have you, and thank you for offering your insight. Have a safe trip back. There was Carl Camden, President and CEO of Kelly Services.